The wrong house. The Thompson family had been driving for hours when they finally found the house. Nestled deep in the woods, it was the perfect weekend getaway, or so they thought. The listing had described it as a cozy cabin with modern amenities, but as they pulled up the gravel driveway, they realized the photos had been misleading. The house was old, its wooden siding warped and weathered. The windows were dark, and the front door hung slightly ajar, creaking in the wind. Still, they were too tired to turn back. "It's just for one night," Dad said, grabbing their bags from the trunk. Inside, the house smelled of mildew and something faintly metallic. The furniture was outdated, and the walls were lined with faded family photo strangers with hollow eyes staring out from cracked frames. Mom shuddered. "This place gives me the creeps." The kids, Emily and Jake, were too excited to care. They raced upstairs to claim their rooms, their laughter echoing through the empty halls. But as the sun set, the atmosphere shifted. The house seemed to come alive with faint whispers and creaking floorboards. The family gathered in the living room, trying to ignore the unease that settled over them. That's when they heard the knock. It was soft at first, barely audible over the crackling fire. Then it grew louder, more insistent. Dad went to the door and opened it, but no one was there. Just the empty porch and the dark woods beyond. "Probably just the wind," he said, though his voice wavered. The knocks continued throughout the night, always just out of sight. Emily swore she saw a shadow move past her window, and Jake claimed he heard someone calling his name from the basement. By morning, the family was exhausted and eager to leave. They packed their bags quickly, not bothering to clean up. As they drove away, Mom glanced back at the house. For a moment, she thought she saw a figure standing in the window, watching them go. She blinked, and it was gone. Relieved to be home, they pulled into their driveway and unloaded the car. But as they stepped inside, something felt off. The furniture was slightly out of place, and the air smelled faintly of mildew. Dad frowned. "Did we leave the windows open?" Upstairs, Emily screamed. They ran to her room and found her staring at the wall. The family photos were still there, but they weren't the Thompsons. They were the same strangers from the cabin, their hollow eyes now fixed on the family. "What's going on?" Mom whispered, her voice trembling. The knocking started again, this time from inside the house. It came from the walls, the floors, even the ceiling. The whispers grew louder, forming words they could almost understand. Jake pointed to the window. "Look!" Outside, the woods were gone. In their place was the gravel driveway leading to the cabin. The house they had just left was now their home. Dad grabbed the car keys. "We're leaving. Now." But when they ran outside, the car was gone. The driveway stretched endlessly into the woods, and the cabin loomed ahead, its door wide open. The figure from the window stood in the doorway, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. "You shouldn't have left," it said, its voice a chorus of whispers. "This is your home now." The Thompsons backed away, but the house seemed to follow them, its walls closing in. The photos on the walls shifted, their faces now familiar: Emily, Jake, Mom, and Dad, their eyes hollow, and their smiles too wide. The knocking grew louder, drowning out their screams, and as the door slammed shut behind them, the whispers finally became clear. "Welcome home.